Hello guys, this video will be a complete guide on TFT as a whole for players of any skill level. I've had a few people ask for help with learning TFT, or people saying that they never really understood the concept of the game. This video will teach you everything that you need to know to fully understand TFT and to fully enjoy the brand new Set 9. Understanding the basics. The aim of the game is to be the last tactician standing in this 8-player free-for-all battle, which can be achieved by reducing all other tacticians, which are the players' health points, to 0. All 8 tacticians will start with 100 total health points and will engage in PvP combat using the teams, also known as boards, that they have assembled, which are going to be filled with champions that can either be purchased from the shop or taken from the carousel or augments. Each round is made up of a planning phase and a battle phase. The planning phase will give time for players to make whatever changes to their team that they want, such as repositioning their units. During the battle phase, you will go head to head against a random tactician and your teams will fight automatically, so you should essentially sit back and watch/analyze how your team is behaving in order to make the best judgment calls about formulating a strategy that can ultimately help you win the game. There is also a currency in TFT called gold, which is very important as this is what you spend to level up or buy champions. Leveling up costs an increasing amount of gold per level, and each player can reach a maximum of level 9, not including augments. The number of champions you can field at once is the same as your level, and leveling up increases the odds of finding higher tier champions in the shop. The shop contains 5 champions at a time and it costs 2 gold to refresh. It is also possible to look at or scout every player's team by clicking their name on the right of the screen. As well as this, champions that are purchased can either be played on the field or stored on the bench. The bench can hold up to 9 champions. Champions and traits. Champions are the characters that you assemble your team with, and champions vary in cost, which is the amount of currency it costs to purchase said champion. This ranges from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 cost, which denotes the amount of gold it costs to buy them. Champions are found in the shop at 1 star, however purchasing 3 of the same champion will upgrade them to 2 star, resulting in a stat boost. And purchasing 9 of the same champion will upgrade them to 3 star, which is an even bigger boost. And this is the maximum level that can be achieved on a champion under regular circumstances. After getting a 3-star champion, you will no longer be able to find that champion in the shop, unless of course you sell them. Keep in mind however that selling champions that are 2-star or 3-star will sell for 1 gold less than you paid for them altogether, for the most part. For example, a 2-star tier 3 champion, which would cost 3 times 3, which is 9 gold to buy, will only sell for 8 gold. The probability of finding each tier of champion differs with level, making some levels better for rolling for certain tier units than others. For example, level 6 is the best level to roll for tier 2 champions, as level 6 has a 40% likelihood of a slot in the shop containing a tier 2 champion, which is the highest of any level. To roll or rolling means refreshing the shop over and over to find certain champions. A chart mapping the probabilities of finding each tier of champion at your current level can be found in-game to the top left of the shop, right here. As well as this, as you can see from this chart, it is not possible to even find a tier 5 champion until level 7, and even then it is only a 1% chance to find them. All players/tacticians in the game share the same pool of champions, meaning that for each tier 1 champion in the game, for example, there are only 29 copies of each, split amongst all players. Therefore, if you see multiple players in your game playing a specific champion and you also want to play that champion, it will be harder for you to find them in the shop as there are going to be less in the pool. Now to the traits. Each champion has specific traits which can be seen on their card in the shop or by right clicking on them if you already own them. On the left of your screen, you will be able to see the traits of your team, and if you hover over each one, you can see the number of unique champions with that trait that need to be active on your team in order for them to receive the trait bonus. The bonuses generally increase with the more unique champions you field with said trait. By right clicking a champion, you can see their stats, their max mana pool, which when full, they will cast their ability, and you can read what their ability does by hovering over it like so. As well as this, you can see where they should be positioned on the field, either in the front 2 rows or the back 2 rows. The teams of other players should also be considered when positioning, as you want to ensure that your squishy, low HP champions are going to be protected from the enemy champions by your tanks. Next, we have items. There are items in the game which are equipable to champions, but be careful as they cannot be removed under normal circumstances unless you have an item remover, which is a consumable that can drop from PvE rounds. The only other way to recover items from champions is to sell that champion or bounce items off, but I will explain that concept later in tips and tricks. There are 2 types of items. There are item components and there are full items. To craft a full item, you combine 2 item components. To do this, you place one component on a champion and then place the other component on them. By right-clicking on an item component, you are able to see the recipes of each full item that can be made by using that specific component, and hovering over the full item will reveal its stat bonuses and effects. Each champion can equip a total of 3 full items at a time. The ideal items can be seen by right-clicking on a champion to reveal their information and hovering over the type of champion they are. For example, a magic tank would benefit from these items, or a magic caster would benefit from these items. Item anvils can also be found in the game, and selling them will open up a special selection between multiple item components or even multiple completed items, out of which you can select the one that benefits you the most. The rarest component of all is the spatula. The spatula can be combined with an item component to create an emblem. Emblems can be equipped to champions to give them a trait that they were not previously a part of. As well as this, combining 2 spatulas will create a tactician's crown, which grants the player 1 extra slot on their team without them having to level up. Next, we will speak about gold. Gold is the currency within each TFT match, and it is important to carefully manage your economy in order to maximize the amount of gold you earn, which will in turn allow you to level up more or roll the shop for stronger units/upgrades. The base gold income per round is 5, and win streaks or loss streaks can increase this amount by 1 to 3 gold, depending on how big your streak is. Winning a PvP round will also grant 1 extra gold, and interest will grant between 0 and 5 gold. Interest scales with the amount of gold you have stored, and 0 to 9 gold will grant you 0 gold in interest, whereas 10 to 19 gold will grant you 1 gold in interest, 20 to 29 gold will grant you 2 gold in interest, 30 to 39 gold will grant you 3 gold in interest, 40 to 49 gold will grant you 4 gold in interest, and 50 or more gold will grant you 5 gold in interest, which is the maximum. Because of this, many players will opt to save up to 50 gold if they feel their team is strong enough, and will try to stay above that 50 gold margin each round, while either leveling gradually or gradually rolling for champions. They do this in order to maximize economy, which will snowball into the late game. But be careful, however, as if you are too greedy with your gold, your team may end up being too weak and you will lose before you can spend any of it. As previously mentioned, buying XP to level up will cost 4 gold per 4 XP you purchase, and refreshing the shop will cost 2 gold. Each round, your shop will naturally refresh and you will naturally gain 2 XP. If there is a champion in your shop that you wish to buy but cannot afford, you can lock your shop by clicking this button, which will prevent the shop from naturally refreshing next round, so you can purchase it using the gold you will naturally gain between rounds. Leveling up will cost more and more XP per level. The amounts can be seen here. However, this is subject to slight change and developers will sometimes balance the amounts due to things such as augments, which we will get into shortly. Next, we will talk about stages. Stage 1 is a PvE stage. Over the course of this stage, players will be granted loot for defeating minions and are able to buy units in the shop starting at stage 1-2. Stage 2 is when PvP rounds start, and every round you will face off against a different player from your lobby. The players that you could face next are denoted by the swords image under each name. As the game progresses, you will deal and take more damage for wins and losses to enemy tacticians. The number of damage is calculated by using two different variables: the stage on which you are currently on, and the number of champions remaining on the victor's board at the end of battle. A damage chart can be seen on screen, indicating, for example, if you take a loss where the enemy has 5 units remaining and the game is currently on stage 4, you will take 10 plus 4, which is 14 damage. The fourth round of each stage, starting at stage 2, is known as a carousel round, in which players will be released 2 at a time in order of lowest remaining tactician health first. In carousel rounds, players are able to walk their tactician into a champion they want in order to collect them and add them to their team. Each champion on the carousel will be holding an item component too, which can be seen floating above their head. When the timer ends, all tacticians will be returned to their boards with the champion and item component that they have collected. Keep in mind that the higher the stage, the better the champions that can be found on the carousel. As well as starting on stage 5, champions can also be seen holding completed items, not just components. At the end of each stage, there will be a PvE round that will grant gold and items. However, make sure your team is strong because these PvE rounds can be no joke. Now, we will speak about the set mechanics. Augments. Augments are a key aspect to TFT and can change the game as a whole. Augments are offered at stage 2-1, 3-2 and 4-2. Augments come in 3 rarities: silver, gold and prismatic. All tacticians will receive the same rarities of augments, but will not all receive the same selections. As the rarities of augments increases, the benefit of the augment will also increase. There are also standalone augments such as Golden Ticket, which gives a 50% chance to gain a free shop refresh each time you refresh your shop. This includes the natural refresh between rounds. There are also augments that can alter your game entirely, such as Rich Get Richer or Hedge Fund, which increases your interest cap, meaning that you can benefit from saving more than just 50 gold. Another is Level Up, which allows a tactician to reach level 10, as well as granting 7 XP per 4 gold spent on XP instead of just 4. Augments can also grant items that cannot be crafted, such as Orn items, which are completely unique, or even Radiant items, which are super buffed up versions of regular items. If you do not like the augment selection you have been offered, you are able to re-roll each of the augments a single time, giving a grand total of 6 augments to choose from at every augment offering. Legends. Set 9 has introduced a new mechanic called Legends, where the player can select a legend while in the lobby, and this will guarantee specific augments at each stage of the game. For example, selecting Tahm Kench will guarantee either AFK if the 2-1 augment is silver, Rich Get Richer if the 2-1 augment is gold, and Hedge Fund if the 2-1 augment is prismatic. Another example of a legend is Orn, the Forge Master, who at stage 3-2, which is the second augment choice, will either offer small forge, medium forge, or large forge. Remember also that if you do not like the tailoring of augments through legends, you can opt to select Poro, who will not grant any tailored augments. Remember that legends can be changed before each match, so if you don't like the one you just used, you can try another. Portals. Portals are another new mechanic to set 9. These portals are connected to the different regions of Runeterra and offer a wide variety of effects, including things such as Marus Omegnum from the region of Targon, which grants a Tactician's Crown to each player at both stages 2-5 and 4-5. Another portal being Jace's Workshop from the region of Piltover, which guarantees that all augments this game will be prismatic. There are a grand total of 30 portals, so the possibilities are endless. Once each tactician has loaded into the game, that is you guys, you will be able to vote for a portal of your choosing by either standing on the portal itself or clicking the vote button underneath the portal's description on the left of your screen. The game will then pick a random tactician in the lobby, and whichever portal they are stood on will be the portal for that game. Tips and tricks. As previously mentioned, it is possible to remove items from a champion by bouncing them off. To do this, you must be about to upgrade the champion to 2-star or 3-star. Before you make the upgrade, you must place one of the copies of the champion that is going to be upgraded on the field, and the one holding the items you want to bounce off on the bench. The one on the field must have 3 full items equipped in order to bounce all items from the benched version. This is extremely useful if you wish to make a champion your new main tank, for example, as can be seen in this clip. Another trick is that you can hide items on your bench so that opponents who scout your team are unable to see that you are going to use an item, such as Zephyr or Shroud. Another trick that can be used is if you and one other opponent are the last 2 left and you want to reposition a unit at the last second, you can pick up the unit and press the Q key. This will allow you to see your opponent's team while still holding your champion. Then, at the last second, you can press the Q key again and place the champion in the new position much faster than you would have been able to by manually clicking between you and your opponent's board. Another useful tip is that if you need to roll the shop a lot and you don't have much time to do it, it is much faster to press the D key instead of manually clicking the refresh button on screen. A tip that goes well with the last one is that if you are rolling for a specific champion, it helps to buy other champions of the same tier as the champion you are rolling for, as this will reduce the pool and make it more likely for you to find the champion you want. Remember, however, to not upgrade the units that you don't plan on using, as it will result in a loss of gold when you sell them. The most helpful tool for me when I was learning the game were comp guides, such as Bunny Muffins and Mobalytics. Since the meta is forever changing with multiple patches each set, it is hard to stay up to date with the strongest team compositions, which is where these come in. These sites allow you to see the strongest teams in each patch with a tier list, as well as positioning, which augments and items are the best with that team, and other tips about pacing and when to roll. I cannot praise these things enough. Cosmetics. Tacticians can be changed in the menu screen. Each tactician has their own animations and emotes. Tacticians can either be purchased directly or randomly found in eggs. The TFT pass will be a worthwhile investment if you are looking for new cosmetics, and a great way to support this small indie company. If you, however, do not wish to spend any money, do not worry, as the pass also offers free rewards, so you will not have to use the river sprite forever. Unless you want to, of course. I mean, look at its cute little face. Arenas can also be purchased directly or found in the pass. This goes for booms as well, which are the animation that will be shown when one tactician deals damage to another. Finally, tacticians can be upgraded by either getting multiple copies of the same one or by spending star shards, which is a premium currency. This is all purely cosmetic, but it does look pretty cool. Conclusion. This will conclude the video. This video took a decent amount of time to make, and I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I stream and upload YouTube videos daily. Oh, and also check out my TikTok too, @CamiTFT. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.